This is the Hollow Knight Silksong of 2026, and it's the best game of the year so far. This is Mio Memories in Orbit, and I'll get this out of the way right off the bat. If you already like Metroidvanias and you're looking for another one to fill the void after you loved Hollow Knight Silksong, this is the one. This is it. Here's what's going to be interesting about this review, though. I don't like Metroidvanias, but Focus Entertainment asked if I wanted to play and review Mio, and it looked so good I had to try. So, coming from someone that doesn't even like Metroidvanias, the genre just isn't really for me. This game is fantastic. You'll play as Mio, a small, unassuming robot exploring a massive, decaying spaceship called the Vessel as you attempt to understand why the robots have gone rogue while trying to bring peace back to this fallen relic. Mio features all of the staples of the genre: ability-based progression, high skill ceiling with tough combat and movement challenges, amazing boss fights, and a focus on atmosphere and exploration. The main reason I often struggle to get into these titles is the constant backtracking. I am a directionally challenged person in real life, so navigating through these game levels where you'll progress and then you'll see where you're supposed to go but have no idea how to actually get there, the game will give you a breadcrumb and say, oh, here's your destination, but you need a key or an ability that you don't have yet to get there, and then you'll have to circle back through the entire level to find that hidden key or ability. There's so many branching pathways and alternate doors and levels, and even with an in-game map that you eventually get, I struggled to keep all of it straight in my brain, and for me, it led to frustration. Now, I mention this first because this is not really a flaw within the game. Like I said, it's a staple of the genre. I'm not saying this is a bad thing inherently. I'm saying this is the reason I normally avoid Metroidvanias, because the feeling of being lost in a video game drives me insane. It's like my greatest pet peeve. I can't stand it. But this is a testament to how good Mio is. Despite my navigational deficiencies, I did not want to stop playing this game. I trudged through the frustration because everything else about this game is really good. And that's not even to say that the level design and navigational puzzle solving isn't also amazing, because it is. It's just something I personally struggle with, but the way each level weaves back into each other like an intricate puzzle piece is masterful level design that is continuously impressive. There's also tons of optional secrets that you can find if you do enjoy this kind of intricate level design. Outsmarting the game and finding that new skill upgrade that you can apply to Mio that the devs placed slyly just out of reach is rewarding, and if you're able to put up with the initial annoyance of going way out of your way to actually reach it, you're gonna love it. It also becomes an issue with boss fights. While the boss fights are all fantastic, we'll get to that later, they're not easy, so you're gonna die here too. Normally, the devs would place a small boss fight checkpoint right outside of the boss arena so that when you do die, you'll just respawn right outside of that arena. This is, for some reason, not the case in Mio. Instead, it'll spawn you back to the original checkpoint, and these boss fights aren't Sekiro levels of difficulty, but still having to go all the way back through the level just to get to the boss fight again 5 or more times in a row every time you die is just plain stupid. It's just annoying. I love Souls-likes that are difficult on purpose. The sense of victory as you overcome a tough boss is unmatched in gaming, and it's the same here in Mio, but that victorious fire is stomped out a bit by the frustration of going on a whole Lewis and Clark expedition every time you lose the fight. There is simply no reason to not have small boss checkpoints right outside of a boss arena, but that's really the only serious major flaw that this game has. And it's a good thing that everything else about this game is so good, again, especially if you're already a Metroidvania fan. If you haven't already noticed, the art style is absolutely breathtaking. This game looks fantastic. That's visually striking throughout your entire adventure. The combat and movement are also fun. While nothing incredible, it's all good. Combat is satisfying with some really punchy sound effects, and it all starts off as a slow burn, but as the game opens up and you acquire more abilities, things get a lot more fun. The sense of progression with combat and movement is great, where you slowly move into this flow state, and the game gives you enough time with each unlock to get familiar with it before you move on to the next one. I also really liked the modifiers Mio introduces. Throughout the game, you'll find modifiers that give you buffs and debuffs, and you have a certain amount of points that you can allocate towards which modifiers you want equipped. Things like having less health, but every time an enemy hits you, Mio sets off this mini explosion, or the last hit of your combo is significantly stronger, but you also take more damage each time you get hit. Stuff like that. You can mix and match these to match your preferred playstyle. Like I said, it is a slow burn, but once you get all of this stuff rolling, it feels really great. There's also a lot of movement gauntlets, where there's this section of a movement challenge that are just as tough as the boss fights. There is no room for error here, and you have to focus to get through these. You have to be perfect. And just like the boss fights, once you conquer one of these gauntlets, it feels so good. And speaking of the boss fights, my absolute favorite part about this game was most definitely those. I'm just a huge fan of good, challenging boss fights, and every single one of these challenged me, and I had a blast with each of them. All of them were spectacles in their own right. When I entered one of these arenas and the boss's entrance queued up, I got a little giddy each time. That cathartic release when you take one of these guys down is the same kind of feeling I get in the Souls-likes that I do love, and I could not get enough of this. The only other complaint I have with Mio is the story. I wouldn't say it's bad by any means, it just didn't do anything for me, but that's not what was keeping me glued to the screen anyway, so it didn't really bother me. But if you're looking for a good story, I don't feel like you're really going to find it here. It is there though. Coming from someone that doesn't even like the Metroidvania genre, this was a very good game. Will it make me play more Metroidvanias? Probably not. I just hate navigating through the levels in these games where I constantly feel lost. But I will say, persevering through this was a huge video game achievement for me, and if you are a fan of the Metroidvania genre and want something that's like Hollow Knight and the Ori games, then you will 100% enjoy Mio Memories in Orbit. It's as simple as that.